Hey everybody, this is Dustin, RV Specialist. So today I'm looking at an outdoors RV that's a 2022. I'm going to see what day it was produced on. So it was produced on 8 of 2021. So anyways, we asked to do an exterior eval on a coach. And so as I was looking at the unit, I want to zoom in and just show you like how all the sealants are all dry, turned yellow. They're all separating and cracked. And so as you can see here, this is where the factory stopped sealing it. Normally we go down and we seal around the whole perimeter of it. So that's just putty tape that's bleeding out on that side of it. But as you can see up close, you'll see that all the sealants on the body, this is in the front compartment door, which we do get quite a few units that come in with compartment doors leaking and have had like different videos and pictures where the whole front floor is rotten from that. Also, you know, same thing here on the slide outs. The slide out side edge seam has never been sealed, so there's putty bleeding out of that. The sealants that are on the slide out are all aged and discolored, turning yellow. The slide out topper brackets, the putty's bled out on those. That needs to be trimmed off, tightened up, and resealed as well. And you can see more putty back here has bled off going all the way up. And so that putty needs to be trimmed off, and those screws possibly need to be tightened. Same thing with, like, you know, the city fills. You can see when you look real carefully and get up closer, if that gives you a better example. See how that sealant is separated from the wall? That's going to go down and hit the floor line and cause damage to the floor itself. You know, same thing around the lights. Again, as you can see around the lights, zoom in here, the lights, and then this molding's actually come loose here. You can see me push on it to move it in. Same thing with the rest of the sealants on the body. And this is just, you know, from age, so it's nothing the Outdoors RV did. This is just maintenance. So I want you to think about this, is that, you know, we do a lot of videos and a lot of water damage here. We're in Lodi, California. So if you're watching this and you're in other states where it's snowing or raining or whatnot, then, you know, I would express to you, you know, most of the times you don't see that you're getting water damaged. It takes a long time for it to happen, but it does. And when it does, it's not pretty, folks. So we got a video that we just did on our roof that's only a couple years old, that the roof is completely rotted, like 3 sheets clear down to the studs and to the inner panels, just from a tear that's no bigger than the size of a screw head. So on this, going back to this unit, this is again a titanium outdoor series. I'm not going to walk around the back because I try not to catch the license plate. But when we're looking at these, we're looking at, like, you know, things that need to be added to it. If there's things that are loose or coming loose, or if they need supports. We're looking at all the body sealants. We're looking at all the light lenses. We're looking at all the screw covers. So this is a screw cover. It collapses over the top of an aluminum molding. You know, we're looking at batteries. We're looking at the wiring. We're looking at the safety chains. We're looking at the jacks, looking at the propane. I checked the lines already. The lines were, you know, they're getting stiff, but they're not to the point where I'd tell the owner to replace them. Look at the 7-way cord. You know, we're just making sure that nothing's falling apart or nothing's hanging, dangling. There is some stuff that's down low that's hanging that I would like to see, you know, tied up or secured. But same thing on this side. You know, it's just this unit's due for a body reseal. And so the sealant that's put on here from the factory, so no matter what kind of coat you have, if you're paying attention to the silicones that are there, this acts as a water deflectant. So whether you're spraying it with a hose, or it's raining, or it's condensating, or it's dripping from natural weather, or it's raining, whatever, if it's getting wet, you want that water to deflect off the surface and stay away from it. When it gets past that and goes past behind the putties, it can cause a whole bunch of issues, you know. So like the example, look at the refrigerator door. So you see all the putty that's bled out here, and that's pretty thick. You know, that's how big my finger is compared to it. So what that tells us is that this refrigerator,
Adam, do you have a copy, Adam?
this refrigerator, sorry for all the background noise and radios, this refrigerator is moving in transit. So it's sitting there shaking and vibrating in all directions, just enough to where it's shaking to cause all that putty to work itself out. So not only trimming it off, but then going in and finding the screws that are back there behind it and tightening it to make sure that that's not going to continue to get worse. You know, I'm glad to see he's got the bug screens here, and he's got the bug screens on the furnace. That's fantastic. Looks like somebody did a homemade bug screen job in the back, which is fine, it'll work. But I would recommend that you get rid of that latch and do the metal one. So to finish up on this guy, I think a full body reseal is recommended. I'm gonna go check up on the roof next. So you'll see another video. I already looked at the suspension. The suspension's basically the same thing. You know, he's pretty dirty. He needs to be, you know, pressure washed off and probably cleaned and lubed, and maybe, depending on how much he's traveled, probably replace those bushings if they're bad, but we wouldn't know that until we picked up the weight of the axle and get our little wiggle test. So, all right, thanks so much for watching, and I hope these videos help you. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll try to reply back to them as I have time. And if you haven't already joined our Outdoors RV Owners Maintenance and Repair, we encourage you to do so. That's where we're listing, you know, exterior evals, or we'll do like what's in the shop, and we just talk about like tools, products, tips, things that we're working on, things that we're coming across, and repairs that we're making on them. So, okay, thanks again, everybody. Travel safe, and we'll talk soon. Have a good one.